Peace and love to all the gods and goddesses and the high vibrating species. Welcome back to the channel. What's up, good people? What we doing? How we living? Welcome back. You know what I'm talking about? Salute to you. Academies. Come on in, man. Come on in. What we doing? I hope everybody do a good, vibing high. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? In the green light with your critical thinking cap on at all times. I hope so. It's still critical out there, you know what I'm talking about? So it requires the critical thoughts, all right? We got SCP-118, that is 118, nuclear Protist. Now, of course, you know, I had to go and look the word up. Didn't want to assume what it was. Now, it's pretty interesting, too. If you don't know what it is, for those that don't know what it is, just like I didn't, and now I know, it is basically, to sum it up, a single cell organism, the prokaryotic cell, that's been mutated, that creates a eukaryotic cell, a complex cell organism, a whole different species of eukaryotic cells. So that's what Protist is. And obviously this is nuclear, so I don't want to necessarily assume, but we're just gonna like kind of toss that out there. So maybe this single cell organism has been mutated by nuclear radiation, possibly, is what we're looking at or dealing with here. We're gonna find out, of course. You know what I mean? But yeah, Protist basically is a single cell organism that's been mutated to create the recessive gene, complex cell, or eukaryotic cell species. So you get an entire species out of this mutation. So it's basically like splicing, like the prokaryotic cell has been spliced, and therefore you get a eukaryotic cell. So that's what this is, Protist. That's what that means. All right. So, and you can go and look up what prokaryotic cell is, a single cell organism, and then you got, I guess, multi-cell organism. Basically, is a species or organism that has several different types of DNA, not just one. That's what a single cell organism has. One type of DNA, it's one thing. And then you have the eukaryotic cell, which is a splice. It could have several different DNA strands attached to it. So you can get a monkey, zebrafish, a worm, field mice, stuff like that, all spliced and put into one organism. It creates a whole totally different species. All right, and that's what we're dealing with on this planet today, in real time, in real life time, y'all. So, and you can go and look this information up. This is out there in public domain. You can find this information. Okay, so YouTube, don't even try it. You can go and find it, just like I did. Okay, so yeah, but anyway, that's what that word means. So I guess we could say that's the word of the day, Protist. You know what I mean? And we do have numerology, and we're gonna get to that now. So we got 118. That's the one. So we have, on the positive side, leadership, dignity. That's unique, pioneering, commanding, forceful, bold, strong, and dynamic. On the negative side, we have selfish, arrogant, controlling, lazy, indecisive, stubborn, bully, lonely, cold, insulting, demanding, and manipulative. Okay, aka the one God. So that's one consciousness, oneness, the all. You know what I mean? And for tarot, for the tarot readers or anybody interested in tarot, this would be the Magician card. So number 1 represents the Magician card. And a brief on the Magician card is acts as a bridge between the astral realm and Earth. Great energy and potential, a path guide pointing out directions and ideas. Okay, new beginnings, opportunities, and talents. So you got one in your spread, the Magician in your spread. You might want to take advantage of that energy because it's a new beginning to bring out your potentials in whatever it is that you may be dealing with at the time. You know what I mean? As far as being born on the first life path, you just identify with the number 1. It's your favorite number. These are the energies that can be, I mean, dealing with the number 1. So if you got the 1111, everybody always see the 1111. You know what I mean? So that's just the 1, and it's strengthened 3 times by the extra 1s with it, right? So it could be a negative or a positive, whichever one it is. You need to balance it out. All right, that's that. That's the tarot. That's a little bit of etymology in a sense, but just a definition of this word, what it really means, so we know what we're dealing with. So as to not let some of this information go over your head when you're dealing with the case file. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have what you need, because I do. And if you don't, you might want to go get that real quick. Okay, time's up. All right, okay, the mates. Oh, sorry. I apologize. Shadow Law, come on in. Ace in the back. Please. Ace in the back, and please. Thank you. All right. Y'all ready? Let's get her bustin'. Let's see.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Miller, and the SCP we're going to be looking at today is SCP-118. Object Class: Euclid.
Oh, yeah?
Special Containment Procedures. Due to the number and distribution of SCP-118, containment of every specimen is impossible. Known SCP-118 red zones are to be closed off to all civilian marine vessels and divers under the guise of a military presence or other plausible cover story. Contacts in navies known to operate near SCP-118 red zones are to be utilized in order to minimize the passage of military vessels through the red zones. Okay.
First things, let's keep this in mind right here. The distribution of this contaminant right here, whatever this is, this contaminant, obviously. You know what I mean? It's impossible to contain it all. So there's just food for thought before we actually get up in this. Just keep that in your mind, that whatever we're dealing with, some people can get their hands on it and they can't stop everybody.
Any area within the red zone has a depth of less than 1,500 meters. The restriction is to be applied to the aircraft as well. All human activity in the surrounding yellow zones is to be monitored, and all non-military vessels or individuals approaching the red zone are to be turned away. In the red and yellow zones, Protocol Toxic Harvest is to be followed to ensure the removal of devices generated by SCP-118. Furthermore, Protocol Cell Watch is to be followed to ensure the early detection of any emerging red zones. Samples of SCP-118 can be stored using standard containment procedures for non-virulent anomalous microbes. Description: SCP-118 is a species of ocean-dwelling protista that is capable of assembling functional, self-initiating nuclear devices from materials present in ocean water. While SCP-118 is unknown and hence has not been classified by the scientific community, specimens resemble protists of the phylum Euglenophyta, but have significantly increased levels of movement speed, nutrient storage capability, and resistance to alpha radiation. Specimens of SCP-118 have been found in all of the world's oceans and seas. When in a survivable saltwater environment, specimens of SCP-118 will seek out materials including, but not limited to, iron, silver, copper, carbon, TNT, and uranium isotopes. When SCP-118 is located a material of interest, the material is absorbed into the cell using a method dependent on the size of the material. Single atoms and molecules, mostly substances that are dissolved in the water, are passed through the cellular membrane through specialized protein pumps. Larger particles, smaller than the cell itself, are ingested through phagocytosis. Larger pieces will have particles torn off through an unknown mechanism, which are then absorbed using the first two methods. This mining occurs even in solid and hard substances, such as metal ingots. Upon reaching a threshold of absorbed materials, specimens of SCP-118 will move towards an assembly area on the bottom of the body of water they are present in and will contribute to the assembly of a nuclear device. The nuclear devices assembled are gun-type fission devices using uranium-235 as their fissile material. Observation of devices in the process of being assembled show that the process starts with the assembly of a metallic rounded cylindrical casing for the device, followed by the creation of two subcritical masses of uranium and the conventional explosives to propel them into each other. The mechanism by which SCP-118 enriches harvested uranium is currently unknown. The previous sentence was stricken from the document. See Addendum 4. The device is then finished with the assembly of a uranium-238 tamper, where the two uranium masses will collide, and the assembly of a trigger mechanism. SCP-118 appears to assemble the necessary components by adding minuscule amounts of material to an initially tiny material seed. Differing atoms and molecules can be added to the same component, and assembled components are not necessarily homogeneous. It is currently unknown whether SCP-118 builds on the seed atom by atom, or by adding very small sub-micrometer fragments. The mechanism by which SCP-118 attaches new material to the seed seamlessly is unknown. The assembly time depends on the size of the device being assembled, water conditions, and mineral availability, but observations suggest that 300 days for a medium-sized device can be considered average. Once a nuclear device is finished, SCP-118 will detonate the device by completing a circuit in the trigger mechanism. Around 90% of the nuclear explosions recorded as a result of SCP-118 have had yields in the 20 to 35 kiloton range, although yields as low as 4 kilotons and up to kilotons have been reported. Aside from cases involving human interference, failure to detonate has never been observed, as all nuclear devices recorded have either been detonated of their own accord or removed from the water prior to completion. Devices constructed by SCP-118 appear to be larger than man-made devices of similar design and yield, presumably due to the neutron moderating effect of the water that separates the uranium masses throughout much of the device's construction. A given assembly area typically has between 1 and 3 devices in the process of assembly at any given time, although as many as 6 at a time has been observed. In zones where multiple devices are simultaneously assembled, the devices are separated by enough distance to prevent the detonation of one from destroying or setting off the others. While the Foundation is unable to prevent civilians and other organizations from obtaining samples of SCP-118, its superficial similarity to existing species, few numbers relative to all oceanic Protista, lack of anomalous behavior outside material-rich bodies of water, and the Foundation's standard monitoring of scientific studies at risk of uncovering information about anomalous biological species ensures that the chance of SCP-118's true nature being determined through cell samples is minimal. There are currently 6 different active SCP-118 assembly areas known to the Foundation. While the natural disappearance of an assembly area has been observed, the current consensus among researchers assigned to SCP-118 is that the elimination of assembly areas without massively noticeable effects is currently unfeasible. See Experiment Log 118, Gamma for details. Thus, containment is to be established at SCP-118's assembly areas to be designated red zones and surrounding yellow zones. Furthermore, areas with elevated concentrations of SCP-118, zones of interest, are to be monitored for signs of assembly areas. List of containment zones. Level 4 clearance required.
I was just about to ask that, about the containment areas, because now this is very intriguing. Because what I do know about prokaryotic cells is that atom that's basically is where they can get the nuclear bomb from the atom. Hence the atom bomb. I mean, I'm pretty sure y'all know that, but it's a lot deeper than that, because they get that cell from a particular person. You know what I'm saying? That atom that actually has the bomb in it. Like, 'cause every species on the planet don't have that. You know what I mean? But it sounds, it's starting to sound like it's orchestrated. Like there's some type of nanobot technology that knows what to get together, because all of those ingredients right there, yeah. I know, alchemy. You know what I'm saying? This is definitely alchemy, which I know I have to know a little bit about that. So that's why I'm like, whoa. So I'm like, listen to Catamay. This is why, you know what I'm saying, studying certain things, whether you're going to get into it, whether you like it or not, you know what I mean, like love it or interested in it like that or not, it's just always good to know about certain things, you know what I mean? So you're getting this right here, and it's like, hey, okay, I see what's going on, for the most part, all right? At least I think I see what's going on, all right? So we got something that's intelligent, of course, knows exactly what it's going to get, what materials that it needs, what areas it needs to be in, you know what I'm saying, and what type of energy is needed to use to get something done.
Red zones.
I wonder.
RZ1. Location, Mid-Atlantic. Coordinates, redacted. Zone Commander, Captain Romanov. Note, USS incident occurred kilometers outside this red zone. RZ2. Location, North Pacific. Coordinates redacted. Zone Commander, Captain Chambers. RZ4. Location, South Pacific. Coordinates redacted. Zone Commander, Captain Knapp. RZ5. Location, Indian Ocean. Coordinates redacted. Zone Commander, Captain Wayne. Note, proximity to shipping lanes reduces tolerance for nuclear explosions. RZ6. Location, North Atlantic. Coordinates redacted. Zone Commander, Captain Fazil. Note, proximity to U.S. SOS-US hydrophones reduces tolerance for nuclear explosions. RZ7. Location redacted. Coordinates redacted. Zone Commander, Captain. Note, red zone lies within city limits. This, combined with the shallow average depth of red zone, the heavy shipping traffic in the area, the ongoing tensions between and a nuclear power, and the presence of Foundation personnel and facilities in the city makes a nuclear detonation in this red zone unacceptable. In addition, heavy ship traffic through the area and heavy air traffic above the city make restricting access for any long period of time impractical. Zones of Interest, ZOI. ZOI-1. SCP-118 levels increasing around 0.5% per year. Zone of Interest area growing approximately 0.3% per year. ZOI-3. Zone of Interest covers approximately 20 oil wells. SCP-118 levels and Zone of Interest size currently stable. Former zones, FZ. FZ-RZ-3, formerly Red Zone 3. Last device assembled in 1992. SCP-118 levels dropped to average oceanic values in 2000. FZ-ZOI-2, formerly Zone of Interest 2. SCP-118 levels dropped to average oceanic values in 1986. Addendum 118-1. Following the USS incident, the exclusion radius used when drawing red zones had been increased. Containment Protocol Toxic Harvest has been updated. Addendum 118-2. With the signing of the Partial Test Ban Treaty and growing number and capability of nuclear detonation detection methods in use, the consequences of nuclear detonations caused by SCP-118 have increased. Containment protocols have been revised in light of these facts. Addendum 118-3. Due to the significant cost of containing SCP-118 red zones, the O5 Council has requested trials on possible methods to eliminate SCP-118 assembly areas. Red Zone Eradication Trials. Summary. Introduction. Researchers with access to the files on SCP-118 are allowed to submit proposals to eradicate an SCP-118 assembly area with acceptable levels of collateral damage. The ones approved by Toxic Harvest Command and the O5 Council will be carried out. Trials are to be performed in Red Zone. Proposal. Sterilization of unfinished nuclear device and immediate surroundings using an ultraviolet light emitter. Approval? Approved. Result: area around unfinished warhead initially free of microorganisms. However, SCP-118 concentration returned to normal levels within an hour. Non-sustained sterilization of sites seems ineffectual. Any method we come up with will have to keep the red zone, or at least the sea floor of it, free of SCP-118 for an extended period of time. Dr. Brandt. Proposal: sodium hypochlorite pumped to ocean floor. Approval: denied. Result: non-applicable. The chemicals will disperse too much to be effective. Any amount sufficient to reduce SCP-118's numbers will cause massive ecological damage. Dr. Klaus. Proposal: depth charge bombardment of ocean floor to break up under-assembly devices. Approval: denied. Result: non-applicable. Aside from the fact that this would break our naval budget, the chances of triggering the conventional explosive in the devices and causing a fizzle is too high. It would also make our activities even more detectable with hydrophones. Dr. Klaus. Proposal: sweeping of ocean using a Cobalt-60 powered directional gamma ray emitter. Approval: approved. Result: while procedure resulted in the sterilization of swept area, procedure was far too slow to sterilize entire red zone before specimens returned. Keeping entire red zone sterile would require impractical numbers of emitters and vessels. While it's a shame the device cannot get rid of the red zones for us, I think it can be of use to our device recovery teams. The gamma rays can sterilize the devices we recover to prevent undesired detonations during the recovery of almost complete devices. The gamma rays can also penetrate into areas where our current chemical and ultraviolet sterilization methods can't reach. Captain Thompson, Red Zone 3 Zone Commander. Proposal: a plastic membrane to block access to ocean floor at Red Zone. Approval: proof of concept on one under-assembly warhead approved. Result: first attempt was unable to acquire a watertight seal around warhead. Membrane in second attempt was too fragile for ocean conditions and was torn off its moors. Third membrane, manufactured using thicker and sturdier design, had hundreds of micro tears ripped in it within hours, possibly due to SCP-118's mining action. Not surprising, considering that SCP-118 has been known to wear through casings of old artillery shells to harvest the explosives within. We had hoped that cutting off the assembly area would work better than cutting off the raw materials. Dr. Klaus. Proposal: compound pumped to ocean floor. Note: proposed by Dr. former researcher for SCP-118, currently working at Bioresearch Site, Chemical Research Division. Tests confirm that compound is lethal to SCP-118, remains concentrated at bottom of water, and degrades into relatively harmless chemicals in water over a period of 15 hours. Approval: approved. Result: over 1 week, SCP-118 concentrations on ocean floor fell to 3% of previous levels. No signs of progress observed on 2 known uncompleted nuclear devices in Red Zone. However, 100 days after the start of the experiment, an under-assembly nuclear device was detected 60 kilometers north of the Red Zone. Measurements in the area indicated vastly elevated levels of SCP-118, and the area around discovery was reclassified as a red zone. Furthermore, the unexpected breakdown of compound by certain species of oceanic bacteria resulted in toxic byproducts that caused a noticeable die-off of fish in treated zone. Upon stoppage of experiment, red zone was observed to gradually migrate back to former location. It seems that making a red zone non-viable served only to move SCP-118's assembly areas to a new location. Nevertheless, perhaps if we can improve compound or find a new one whose application is more subtle, we can move red zones into areas away from areas of human habitation or commercial activity. Dr. Proposal: use of SCP via. Approval: denied. Result: non-applicable. SCP has classified properties that preclude its use in such a manner. 055. Conclusion. due to increased media attention to areas around Red Zone, due to aftermath of the application of compound, and the lack of proposals without high risks of substantial collateral damage, testing in Red Zone has been suspended. Addendum 118, 4. Level 4 clearance required. Our research has determined SCP-118 enriches uranium by exploiting the fact that U-235 has a slightly greater preference for a high oxidation state than U-238. SCP-118 specimens which have harvested large amounts of uranium and are near assembly areas appear to develop specialized organelles, resembling a series of thousands of vacuole-like chambers with mitochondria-like organelles within them, responsible for catalyzing reduction and oxidation reactions. In a given chamber, uranium is repeatedly reduced and oxidized. Compounds with uranium in higher oxidation states are transferred up the chain of chambers, while compounds with lower oxidation states are transferred down the chain. This results in a small amount of highly enriched uranium at the very end of the chain. Researchers and engineers at Research Sector have managed to create a prototype uranium enrichment device based on the principles employed by SCP-118. While the prototype was unable to produce weapons-grade uranium without using unreasonable amounts of time, it was successful in producing reactor-grade uranium, albeit at significantly greater cost than conventional methods. Despite its current limitations, the idea shows promise, and I have forwarded our findings to the relevant front companies. Dr. This concludes today's lecture. Thank you for listening, if indeed you still are, and you are all dismissed. Goodbye.
Peace, Dr. Miller. Man, Academates, there you have it. So, they trying to make a bomb, bro. They looking to weaponize. Yet again. Here we go. You know what I'm saying? So, we got on their ace about weaponizing stuff. You know what I'm talking about? Always trying to weaponize. So, there he is, looking for new beginnings and opportunities to try to fight something. They're trying to fight the so-called extraterrestrial species that's come to handle some business here because certain activities. So they're looking to weaponize as much as they can to fight beings that they know. Gonna get on that ace card. Gonna get on that ace. So that's why every time they, you know what I mean, they find something, y'all, they always looking. You feel me? They are always looking to weaponize it. Always. So they can fight my bros and sisters up top, you know what I'm saying? They be floating around. Y'all be seeing them out there. Y'all be seeing them. Now, they don't be them all the time, but y'all be seeing them. You know what I'm saying? My bros and my sisters, you know what I'm saying? My family members up there just chilling, floating around, showing off sometimes, you know. That's what they trying to do. So y'all trying to use, you know what I'm saying, the atom to come up with some type of weapon because y'all see these things naturally produce the ingredients to create nuclear reactors within themselves, and they get together in this congregation in remote locations on the planet and they ignite underwater. So that's probably why y'all don't see a lot of this stuff going on, because it's in the ocean. You know what I mean? You don't hear about it because you know they're not going to report it. And that's basically what the thing looks like when it's mutated. So, and I mean, it's definitely sounds like nanobot technology, some type of biology. You know what I'm saying? Something, or I don't, some type of biology, man. I mean, whatever the species is, it's intelligent, and you know what I'm saying. It's been programmed to do a certain thing, and it's nuclear. But it's definitely a single cell organism. Meaning, you know what I'm saying, it's from the spark. It's got that type of energy within it. And they're trying to harness that energy and weaponize it. Alright, you get it now? That's what's going on. So it's a single cell organism that can harness the power the power of radiation, nuclear radiation, and they're trying to weaponize it so they can use it against the people that actually has those atoms. In a nutshell. Yeah. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. Ain't none of that stuff gonna work, y'all. Y'all just cut it out. Shut it off, cut it out. It ain't gonna work. It's not going to work. After all this time, nothing's worked. See? Nothing. Nothing has worked. It's not going to. I mean, take it like this. You're creating weapons from things that the organic species are made of. Like, realistically, you can't destroy them with them. Not this way. You know what I'm saying? Like that, get us to kill ourselves, kill each other type of deal, unalive each other type deal. Yeah, that's when they're, you know what I'm saying, the people are under that spell. But once that spell is broken, all the rest of this stuff, it doesn't work. Don't work at all. So that's what we're looking forward to, and that's probably why y'all sent the shadow over here to deal. You know what I'm saying? I'm not dealing with him. You feel me? He sits as an ace in the back, and because we ain't trying to hear that. We ain't coming no other way but the way we've been coming since we've been coming. You know what I mean? We're going to give it how we give it. That's why I just ask the people, just keep your head on the swivel. Don't forget to keep yourself spiritually, mentally, physically, and emotionally protected. Don't let the world drive you crazy. It's stuff like this going on behind closed doors. They trying to weaponize it while not telling you about it. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like they trying to do it. So it's like, we did it for the betterment of the world. No, hell no. You're looking to weaponize something so you could try to fight some people that you know have the technology to step on you at any moment, at any time they get ready. And you know who those people are. And you don't want to tell everybody else who those people are. So we're here to tell those people who those people are. They're us. Not you, some of you, but us, me. People like me. You know what I'm saying? You're so-called African American, which is a misnomer. Let's get that clear too. It's just a misnomer. You can't be from two different places. You know what I mean? So all these truths about to come out though. So I'm not going to argue with nobody. It's all out there. Public domain. It's in the public domain. If I can find information, you can find information too. So that's why anything that I say here is on you to do your due diligence. You know what I'm saying? And come up with your conclusion. But some things are inevitable and some things won't change, regardless of how much you don't want to believe in it, condone it, perceive, whatever, however it's going to be. Certain things is what it is, and it's going to be what it's going to be, whether it's here to stay and you like it or it's something that needs to change. And believe me, if it needs to change, it's coming, because there's a lot of things that needs to change. And this right here, you know what I'm saying, it clearly shows of things that's going on in the background. You know what I mean? Uranium, bro. Like, as soon as they came, like, I'm like, whoa. You know, I'm in the chemistry, you know what I'm saying, and alchemy and all of that. So I'm like, holy shit, they're trying to make a bomb. Like, they're trying to make a bomb. And then come to find out, they're making bombs. The thing is a bomb. It basically was designed to extract what it needed and the intelligence to build what it needed to do what it needed to do. And that's bloom, kablooey. Excuse me. Got to be of some intelligence. It's got to be of intelligence. And something created it. And it's like right now, it's safe to say that it was not created here. Or even if it was, I guess the humans didn't create it. Man didn't create it, nor mankind. So who made it? Okay? So it come from up top, and they're trying to they're trying to find a way to re-engineer it, like they've been re-engineering every damn thing else. You know what I mean? So, and put it in your face and sell it to you. Here's one of the things. Man, that thing look crazy, don't it? And now you know what protest mean. You know what I'm saying? And this is why we do our due diligence. You know what I'm saying? Even if we go word for word, y'all. You feel me? Because there's probably somebody that's going to run across this channel that never knew what that word meant. And maybe some academics that didn't know what it meant. And shit, I got enough dignity, you know what I'm saying, in myself to say I didn't know what it meant. But now I know what it means. And it made all this, what they was displaying, make a hell of a lot more sense. See what I'm saying? So, hey, there it is. We going to be returning with that nothing. I'm interested in what's coming next, you know what I'm saying, because all the extra stuff that we've incorporated to these SCPs is making this SCP journey a hell of a lot more fun for me. I hope it's doing the same for you. I really do appreciate your time. That's on behalf of me and the crew here at Academy 7. And we do appreciate everybody that spends their time with us, because that is your energy, and you can spend it anywhere else in the world with anybody else you want to, you know what I'm saying? But you spent it with me, or whether it was 10, 15, 20, 45 to even an hour, 2 hours, however long we was there, and you stuck all the way through, I appreciate you. You know what I'm talking about? And we will return with more of these SCPs and truths. Uncovering the truths, y'all. I guess that's just what we're here to do, because we've been doing a lot of it. We've been doing a lot of it. I mean, we gonna keep doing it too.